Hey everybody, welcome back to Variant Intel. Today we're doing episode 19. Wow, that's crazy. We have a special guest today, Marks and Rec. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. Glad to be here. Appreciate the call up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is something that is for the community, and for those that might be new, this is a podcast slash show that's dedicated to the new AAA game by Midnight Society, which is co-founded by Dr. Disrespect, and the game is called Deadrop. So if you are just finding this channel or this video, this is dedicated to Deadrop, but more specifically the community. It's a community-focused show. So I'm your host, HELMETFIRE. And as I said, we have Marks and Rec here. He's a prominent Founders Pass holder and Variant and community member. And we're totally glad to have you, bud. And so, man, Snapshot 6 has been out now for at least, a couple weeks now, something like that, a few weeks. So, yeah, how are you liking it, man? How's it been for you?
I'm loving it. Really, the snapshot was really a great jump from Snapshot 5, where we kind of got to see the introductory, the foundation for everything that they had an idea for. And from 5 to 6, they really jumped up and really stepped up the mark. With a lot of the visual creativity kind of peeking out more in cold storage, and then obviously the big topic is the new map, Proving Grounds. I love Proving Grounds. I really, really do. I think it's a phenomenal new map. I think it really gives less of that running gun feel and more of that true pure looter extraction feel, where it's not so open. Like, you really have to be tactical about where you're going and where you need to be. So
Yeah, no, Proving Grounds 2 is a really cool concept. A lot of us in the community thought we were going to get like Sector 5, the Foundry, just based on like the marketing and the imagery and the art style that they were going for. It just kind of matched up a lot with some of the concept arts. But as is with most things in a very early game like this, which is still in pre-alpha technically, everything's subject to change. But it looks like it's actually going to be Sector 2, which in the lore, I think Sector 2 is referred to as the lobby. So, but yeah, for those that may not have seen it yet, a Proving Grounds version of a map is a just very bare bones blocky texture. There's no official art textures on it yet, and things like that. And it's a precursor and a way for us to get an early play session on the map before it's more finished. This way, the developers can kind of use that as like a almost like a QA test, right? Like all the Founders Pass holders and Tower Key holders that are playing it right now, we're basically spearheading the effort to help out Midnight Society in finding what works, what doesn't, what points of interest are advantageous versus not, and all of the above. And I think this Proving Grounds is honestly, in my opinion, a little bit better than the last one. It has some really, really interesting geometry. When they say this game is the first vertical extraction shooter, they absolutely mean it. And Proving Grounds 2 is a prime example of that. This thing is literally like 8-10 stories in vertical totality. I think something like that. It's like you really can get sniped from like 8 stories up or 8 stories below. Like it can actually happen that way. Have you?
yeah.
What kind of encounters have you kind of run into on that map?
So I've run into a healthy mixture of both, and for better or for worse, I've had the experience and the not so pleasurable experience of being sniped from those cross map shots. Really, but like a lot of the encounters that I have are very close counter. It's one of those where it's like I said earlier, you have to be very tactical with where you are and where you're going. You have a lot of corners, a lot of place where where people can kind of camp out and hide, look through bags. And you have to be really smart about the way that you enter certain areas. Especially like in the apartment buildings on either side, you really have, those rooms, those whatever they are, whether they're offices or rooms or whatever. Um, you have to be careful about which side of the door that you enter in, which side that you're looking for, peeking around corners. Like, it's absolutely insane. So I would say, a lot more close quarter combat than maybe that you would find in cold storage, but definitely provides a healthy mixture of both.
It really does. I think when you talk about that point, like close quarters and wide open, and the mix of that in any kind of map, Proving Grounds 2 really, in my opinion, also does it a little bit better then cold storage. Of course, the sectors or maps are all have their own theme, even though they're all part of one tower, is what it's going to end up being. They're all thematically different, have their own tone, their own art styles, and things like that. But they also all will eventually be interconnected in interesting ways that we'll be seeing in the future. But to the point of that healthy mix, Proving Grounds 2 is very much you have essentially two huge apartment buildings on either side, and then a huge open lane kind of in the middle with various balconies and bridges, and there's zip lines everywhere, of course. And then even on the ground level, there's opportunities for going in and out of doors and catching people in open spots. Yeah, another interesting thing that the Proving Grounds 2 introduced was opening doors, like traditional swing open doors, and then sliding glass doors, and you can open windows too in the apartments, and they are destructible. Even the swing open doors are destructible, I found out. So there's been some really cool exchanges where you're looking down this long corridor of like multiple sliding glass doors, and people are trying to snipe each other through the glass, and then next thing you know, one of the apartment doors on your left opens up and you just get wasted, and it's just, you really got to listen for those footsteps, man.
They will catch you by surprise. If you're tunnel vision halfway across the other apartment building, man, that's the easiest way to get absolutely clapped.
It's and it's you know what, I've never played a first person shooter that has given me so much anxiety about climbing up anything than Deadrop. Like if you climb a pipe or some bushes or a ladder or even go up an elevator, like I just get immediately anxiety ridden, and because you are so vulnerable, man. And Deadrop is really a 360-degree game. Like, again, you can get seen from virtually any angle. It's very different. If you're playing COD or whatever, I mean, there's some vertical, you can get up on some crates and things like that, maybe jump over some cars. But, bro, there's like people 8 stories above, below, aside from you at any given point. So, I mean, I'm just running around like a paranoid person. Like, oh God, like do I risk climbing that ladder right now? Is it worth it? Like, I always ask myself that. Like, I'm sure you've got some examples.
Oh yeah, like for me, that the trickiest part, honestly, is the ground floor. Kind of like that patio looking area that's that kind of has like it's almost like an outdoor like seating area, as if it was like a courtyard or something.
Yeah.
For me, I'm so paranoid to run out like in the middle. I always find myself like gearing towards like under like the like they're like little, probably like little shacks or something, with, like the little roof overhangs. I'm like running right underneath that overhang to make sure I'm not getting sniped from like 5-6 stories up, and like really like trying to hug those to minimize how much exposure that I have to every other level. And it's just I can't run freely anymore without kind of having that, like you said, like that paranoia of anywhere, anybody can come from anywhere.
It really is something. I got to give credit to Brad, is one of the he's the main map designer, and he did a really good job with this. And this map absolutely has tons of hidey holes and interesting nooks and crannies you can get into, but 99% of the time you're vulnerable. I mean, even if you're inside one of the apartment buildings, you can hide. I mean, if you're someone who likes to kind of camp or whatever, I know that's frowned upon, but I mean, you can. But here's the thing about Deadrop that's cool is like you have proximity chat, but you also have the footstep audio that is really well done, right? It's still being iterated on, but it works really well. And, you can hear people above you, below you. It's not 100% accurate all the time. It's still in development process, but for the most part, compared to other games that have proximity audio like that, Deadrop is ahead of the curve for sure. So it's really nice that if someone is camping in a tight enclosed space, like they can't help themselves. They're going to move around a little bit or loot or reload their weapon, and 9 times out of 10 you'll hear them. So there's a lot of cool things like that. But you mentioned those shacks with the overhang on the bottom floor. I have gotten caught with people on top of those getting me. Like I'm running on the ground floor. I round this staircase, and there's somebody literally like 2 feet above my head, just crouched there waiting on me to run around because they heard me coming. And it's like, what can you do, right? It's like you can't do anything. You have to think like you have to think tactically, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be very cognizant about where you are at all times. Like there's, you know, in some games, right? Like you were talking about, there are some areas where you find that you can like be comfortable and feel safe and like, you know, I don't know about you, but like, you know, sometimes like I need to go to the bathroom in the middle of a game. So like, you know, I'll
Yeah,
like
just go
camp in
hide
a
or
corner,
something.
whatever,
Yeah.
face a wall. Yeah. And I'll go to the bathroom real quick and then come back. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, nobody even came near me. In this game, not a chance.
Yeah, no.
There are very few nooks and crannies in this game where you can really truly get away with that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, you really do have full exposure, you know, from multiple angles. And that's kind of what I love about the game. Like there's, I get that it's a vertical extraction shooter, right? So there's got to be some, you know, tactical, I don't want to say tactical retreating, but like tactical positioning, you know, stationary positioning. There you go. That's what I'm going to call camping.
Yeah. Okay.
Tactical stationary positioning. You know, and like, you know, you want to make sure that, you know, you get like, you know, the obelisk, or like, you know, if you got a name tag of somebody that you haven't gotten yet, like, you know, you want to make sure that you know, kind of get there, you know, go exfil. But very few places in that map can you actually get away with that. And I think that's great. It really encourages movement and, you know, interaction with everybody else in that lobby.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know, Proving Grounds 2 only has one way to extract currently. It's the maglock doors. You know, Cold Storage has what, you know, those, they have the zip line, the helicopter, and the mega lift. So there's a multitude of ways to extract in Sector 3 right now. There may even be more in the future. We don't know. But Proving Grounds 2 is still extremely early. It's the most early iteration that's playable. And so there's only the maglock doors. And, you know, again, for those that might not have played it or seen it yet, basically it's this big metal door and you hit this access keypad and it doesn't open immediately. It sounds an alarm and it takes a good 60 seconds before it opens. It might be longer than that. I'm not sure. Maybe it's like 30, 45 seconds. I'm not sure what it is. But when you trigger that door, it tells anyone in audible range that somebody's trying to extract. So it's like, you know, you're not getting off the hook that easy. And
yeah, and it's not like it's a small room or whatever, like a small noise radius. I mean, you can hear that thing.
It's pretty loud.
Yeah, it's a siren.
I'd say like for Proving Grounds 2, I'd say like at least 40% map distance in any direction. I wouldn't say it's more than half, but because you got to think of vertically too. But it's far. Like you can hear it off in the distance, and the game does a good job of like the volume level based on how close you are and stuff. So there's also 2 indicators right now. So like the extraction points are a little bit random. I think there's 4 or 5, but only 2 of those will be active during any match, and it'll randomize. And basically, when it's time to extract, you'll get 2 waypoints that will pop up, and you just and then the other maglock doors, if you run into them, those don't work. It's only the ones that are highlighted. So that's another thing. Geographically, in the space, you have to pay attention. Like you might get your tags and all your loot, and then sit by this maglock door, but then that's not the one you can use, and it's like, crap, I have to go all the way across the map, all the way down 8 stories. You know, I need to catch this zip line and hope I don't get tagged, you know.
Yeah.
And speaking of getting tagged on a zip line, man, let me tell you, Cold Storage has a zip line extract. They call it a theatrical extraction, and it's really cool. But I will tell you, early on in Snapshot 5, I was streaming and I recorded this and everything. A fellow variant caught me trying to extract, and literally like the last pixel before I was gone, I got tagged. Oh. And I, you know, and I was like, oh my God. So it's like that zipline ride ain't quick either, you know? So
it's not quick, and it's not a guarantee.
Yeah. Pro tip: if you take the zipline, just understand if someone sees you, they can still get you.
Yeah.
I think the helicopter is one of the safest ones because the time to load to activate it is like all of 2 seconds. And once you're in it, you're done. They can't blow it up. I'm voting they should let you blow it up. Like well, yeah, because that makes sense, right? How cool would it be to like, oh, someone's getting away. No, you're not.
Boom. Oh, absolutely.
Dude, that would be so great.
I agree with that.
So I don't know what it'll take to code that in, but um, I will say that, I mean, obviously, if it flies past a certain point, it should be home free.
Yeah.
But I would like to see that. Like, if it's just
Yeah.
lifting off the ground and you blow it up right there, like, boom,
Hmm.
that would be sick. Loot recovery is going to be interesting for something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
so, Proving Grounds, a lot of cool, interesting things. We talked about zipline thruster. How do you feel about those?
Oh, I love the zipline. I tell you what, that zipline thruster has gotten me out of so many sticky situations. I love it. When they first when so I came in at the very beginning of Snapshot 5. I've been, involved with, the game, the project, whatever you want to call it. Since its birth. But really I got involved at the very beginning of Snapshot 5.
Hmm.
And when I saw the zip lines, the first thing that I thought of was like, damn, like I
Go
can't
up.
go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, man, what a missed opportunity. And then when they introduced those zipline thrusters, I thought, what a great way to make sure that you have the ability to go up, but you have to kind of earn it. Like you have to
Yeah.
find that zipline thruster or bring it in. Like it's not an automatic feature,
Yep.
and I love that.
Me too.
Because in a tight situation, like if you're one of the last people alive, especially in cold storage,
Yeah, with
and
the
you're trying to
rising
make an
freeze
exfil,
mechanic. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Oh,
and you
that's
don't
that's
have
where it makes
anything,
the most sense. Yeah.
yeah, yep,
And the
it's
freeze, the
I
freeze
love
ain't
it.
no joke either, man. I'm really curious to see what the shutdown mechanic will be for the new map, the new sector.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people speculate like fire or gas or something, and who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
it's and I don't think there's really anything in the lore that alludes to it, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that's really exciting about Deadrop is we're in so early, and this Midnight Society is doing something that no other developer has really done before, which is like bringing their community along and creating their community literally from day one of building the game. So like
Mm-hmm.
we're getting to see stuff that most games wouldn't let you see until 2 years down the road from now. And who knows how
Yeah.
many iterations of that would happen, right? That's the other thing. There's
Mm-hmm.
still so much that can change, and being part of the community as a founder, we're gonna end up down the road getting voting rights for certain things, and so I definitely encourage people to give it a look. Not financial advice, but if you want to join the ranks of the founders, pass holders, and buy the NFT, you can check out the collection on OpenSea. Again, do your own research always, and don't
Mm-hmm.
take advice from anybody else. So,
Yeah.
but with that, there are a lot of really cool benefits, and even if you don't want to get the NFT and you just want to play Dead Drop and check it out, I highly encourage everybody to go to the Discord and jump in and get started because I don't think there's a better community out there personally.
Yeah, with how much community involvement is in a game, really it doesn't even matter, taking out the consideration of where this game is at this current moment. When you think about the involvement of the community already, when you have people huddling in a Discord at any given moment, at any given day, and jumping in and hopping on and getting into lobbies together,
Oh,
whether it's to go in and try to like maybe go up against your friends, or maybe it's to squat up and go loot. Like there's so much opportunity there, and no other game that I've played has that kind of community in a Discord where everybody can sync up right then and there, and then get to enjoy and play with each other. Like I think it's phenomenal what they're doing with this.
yeah, it really is. It's super cool, and it's not just the community members, the developers
Hmm.
too. Like we talked about this
Hmm.
on multiple episodes. At any given moment, like I've seen Brad, the level designer. I've
Hmm.
seen him on a random Wednesday in the middle of the afternoon, just like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just hey, I'm jumping in. Who wants to join up? And it's like, yeah, hell yeah, dude. Because
Yeah.
the developer NFTs, they have a variant tag that is even more unique. So
Hmm.
like when you get a developer tag, like it's a developer, and
Yep.
so now right now there's not much you can do with the tags right now, but they are gonna add more features to that down the road to where it'll have a little bit more of a lasting impression, right? So, but still, it's so cool to see, like you said, any given day, and then on Fridays is our big day as a community. Friday
Hmm.
night Dead Drop. A lot of early community members help come up with the idea, and it really stuck. And yeah, so if y'all are looking for full lobbies, Friday nights are usually the best time to do it. We do have a lot more claws that have joined recently. So claws meaning non NFT holders that are
Hmm.
still playing the game. You know, they just have access to the game. But there's been a lot more people playing lately, of course, with the release of Snapshot 6. But yeah, you know, the Discord has always got something going on. And you mentioned how involved the community is. We have community members creating, you know, this is an example right now. We're doing this show, this community driven show.
Hmm.
We have people doing live action stuff. We have people carving custom art out of wood, doing custom neon signs. We got people um, doing music. Man, William, shout out to William Morris for doing
Hmm.
some fire music. Man, it's insane.
Yeah,
I hope he gets hired. Honestly, I
I do
really
too.
do. We got, you know, people doing custom skins and you know, like OMA, and we got Kubi doing um, like full 3D renders of people's NFTs that just looks like god tier. You know,
Hmm.
have you seen that work from Kubi?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
The you talking about the intro or
like
the
where he
map
took.
that he had?
Well, he did. He's working on a map too because
Uh
UGC is
huh.
coming, which we can talk about that a little bit. But I'm talking about how whenever they showed off the UGC trailer with OMA, like, you know, you saw how
Hmm.
like
Oh
The
yes,
NFT dudes that
yes.
were like in real time 3D
That were in
looking.
motion.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Kubi,
yeah,
and
yeah,
man, that
yeah.
stuff is just, it blows my mind. I'm like, you know, and I would love nothing more than to see these fine folks get hired proper if there's a place and it works out, of course. But yeah,
Yeah.
folks, I'm telling you, I could gush about the community all day, but yeah, let's talk a little bit about UGC. So that is my question for you, Marks, would be, do you think we're gonna get that before Snapshot 7? I
Before Snapshot 7,
I'm leaning towards no, but what do you think?
I'm probably thinking no. And I think the main rationale behind that is, you
Mm,
have so much going on in Snapshot 6. I mean, when Snapshot 5 was kind of approaching its, I wouldn't say its end date, right? But kind of when Snapshot 6 was on its cusp, everybody was speculating about, the things that were going to go on in Snapshot 6, right?
mm-hmm.
And initially, when we were teased about it, we were told that, yeah, it's going to be some things here and there. It's not going to be a big deal, and then it just kept getting bigger and
Yeah.
bigger and more things. And it's just like, and like, it's funny because even in the Snapshot 6 release, like, Robert Bowling was like, we only initially had Snapshot 6 to be like this idiot, like it was supposed to
Yeah.
be as impactful, but then we implemented a new map. We're talking weapon reworks, we're talking weapon animation rework, we're talking
Yeah.
a lot of major big
Yeah,
milestones.
the cleaners
And I
AI teams, like
Yes.
squads,
Yes.
freaking all this new gear we got with the zipline thruster and the adrenaline spray and like, and then you said the new map. It's like,
Mhm.
and Rob, shout out to Rob. He did say it. He said, "I told the team to exercise some chill, and they told me to get out."
Yeah.
So, and they did, man.
Yeah.
They really did. So,
Yeah, they really went all out. And so I think that with Snapshot 6 being how monumental it was, I think what they're going to do, and again, as a community, we're in a prime position right now to really give our feedback this early on to make sure that
mhm.
it's a game that we all want to play.
Yeah,
Again, a very unique aspect, as opposed to other games that just get released and you buy it and you're like, rah, rah, rah. You complain about it on Twitter, then
yeah,
maybe 2, 3 months down the line, they change it.
right.
Whereas now in this game, you're talking about, a few months of between snapshots, but you have an active feedback system and a Discord with moderators and developers that listen actively and respond to you actively.
Yeah,
And so I feel like before Snapshot 7, as cool as it would be, do not get me wrong, I think it would be phenomenal. But I think that they have enough big things to worry about in Snapshot 6 that they want to, kind of fine tune and get ready for that. I don't think it'll happen before Snapshot 7. Now, maybe before Snapshot 8. That's kind of, before 8, 9. I would say maybe before the end of the year. We'll at least get, maybe not the full package, but we'll get something in UGC that we can utilize, maybe like a small little preview, and we
yeah.
can kind of build on it from there.
Yeah, that's a good prediction. I like to always try to come at it from a business and marketing perspective, right? So like
Mhm.
to me, UGC is a big feature that they're really touting, like in a big
Mhm.
way. Now, I have kind of two ideas about it. One would be that they start to do it in a timed release and only start letting so many people use it at a time.
Mhm.
Um, or they're going to save it for Snapshot 7 because
Mhm.
right now the only things we know about Snapshot 7 is they are teasing the car mechanic in a like
Mhm.
huge. Like they are
Yeah.
teasing the car, whatever this car mechanic is going to be. We don't know. We don't know if it's going to be like twisted metal before the match. We don't know if it's going to be demo derby or if that's how you maybe you drive between the maps or something. Like the speculation is all over the full gamut. Like we
Yeah.
truly don't know and don't have any clear hints as to what that will be. We just hear that the developers like all those ideas. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
but they are teasing it. They've been teasing the car since Snapshot 5.
Mhm.
Because Snapshot 5 came out and the variant guide had a car with the Roman numeral 7. And then
Yep.
Snapshot 6 came out and now you look at some of the promos they've done for 6 and you'll see these like car headlights and the smoke and stuff, right? And the engine
Mhm.
revving and all this stuff. So it's like they're really teasing that in a big way. And if you think about it from a game development standpoint, like to add in a mechanic like that in a shooter, like it's its own, it's a big deal. That's a lot of work. So they've
Yeah.
probably been working on this for a long time. And, so if I'm thinking, if I put on the business glasses and I think to myself, if I'm a business and I'm marketing something like, number one, they just teased, or actually they teased it and then they finally officially announced when the next live event is going to be. And it's going to
Mhm.
be for Snapshot 7. It's going to be October 20th, which is a Friday. It's the same weekend as TwitchCon, and it's in the same city. It's in Vegas. We don't have a venue yet. We're still waiting on
Mhm.
that. But if they're so if it's me and they're gonna spend the money to do a live event, which by the way, folks, is very expensive. There's a lot of marketing dollars behind that. If I'm doing that, if I'm Mr. Businessman, if I'm like,
Mhm.
Submit or Doc or anybody else that's running things over there, I'm gonna say, all right, we're gonna do this live event in Vegas. We're going big.
Mhm.
Let's make sure we boom UGC, boom car mechanic, boom new map, and who knows what else. This team obviously loves to go all out. So,
Mhm.
and if it's a live event, if live events are for that. If there's a time to go all out, it's at a live event. So,
Yep.
that's kind of like my prediction. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of trickle out the UGC a little bit beforehand. But
Mhm.
if you ask me to put money on it, I would say they're going to save it for 7.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely agree, and it's funny that you bring up Vegas because I've had a few predictions that so far have come true.
Ooh,
One
all right,
was the
let's hear
fact
it.
that they
Let's hear
were
it.
gonna yeah, so it's a three piecer, okay,
Oh,
and we've already
three
got
piece.
two
Hey,
out
we
of
got
three.
to can we get a combo?
Yeah, 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 exactly. And a side of fries too if it all comes together.
Woo!
So my first prediction was that because this released, this Snapshot 6 released, only a few weeks ago. Given the timing, kind of knew it was going to be around that October time frame when it was going to be Snapshot 7 big release. Knowing Doc, right, and knowing that studio and their involvement, I had a feeling that they were going to try to, kind of butt heads, try to kind of butt horns a little bit along that same weekend. So my first prediction is that it was going to be that same weekend as TwitchCon.
Yeah,
I wasn't so sure that it was going to be the same city until that first kind of hint was released
yeah,
with with all like the lore and everything,
yeah,
and that encryption kind of came through. I was like, gotta be Vegas. So that was my
yeah.
second prediction that came true. The third one is the venue. I have two predictions for it, and I'm hoping either one of them come true.
I'm ready to hear this because for the listeners, we actually that's the one thing that's left for Midnight Society to reveal for us. So we know the city and we know the date, but we do not know the venue yet. That's to be
Mhm.
announced. So what's your
Yep.
predictions on that? I want to hear this.
So my first prediction would be, um, Doc is a very competitive person. I mean, his whole brand is violence, speed, and momentum. right? And
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
very competitive person,
Yeah.
okay, as his brand, its Violent Speed and Momentum, what better place to do it at an esports arena in Vegas, which
Mhm.
happens to be at the Luxor, that HyperX gaming arena.
Yeah.
I've been inside there because I've been to Vegas a few times. It's nice and it's big enough to where it could
Okay.
host an event like this. And maybe even have a tournament or like maybe like an invitational where people can test play Snapshot 7 live in front of everybody and throw
Oh
that up
yeah.
on the big screen like a
Well, that
little
makes perfect
competition.
sense. Like playing in front of people, like that's absolutely. I'm gonna say that's guaranteed. Like regardless
Mhm.
of venue, like that's gonna be a thing, right? Snapshot.
Yeah.
If Snapshot 5 was any example, that's exactly what it's gonna be. It's gonna be some kind of setting where the all the big names can come in and duke it out and make a show of it.
Mhm.
I mean that's and this Snapshot 7 is also going to be a much more realized idea of what Deadrop will be, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yes.
HyperX Arena is prediction 1. What's prediction 2?
Now this one's a little far fetched,
Okay.
but it would be in the very much the style of Doug to pull this off if he were able to, and that is if you know the Vegas area, they just opened up this giant structure, this ball structure. You already know where I'm going with
Oh,
this,
that thing?
right?
Oh,
That
dude.
thing. Imagine if they had that reveal on the inside of it and then on the outside have
um
gameplay where they could project or like have an
wow.
advertisement for Snapshot 7, Dead Drop, Dr. Disrespect. I mean, on the one of the biggest structures in Vegas and easily the brightest.
Oh
Just
man.
Doc's
So
face, Robert Bowling's face. I mean, again, far fetched,
yeah.
but it would be very much in the style of Doc to say, "Hey, you know what? We know that TwitchCon's here, but guess what? Doc's
Yeah,
here too,
that
baby. Let's
that
get it
would
going."
that okay. So I'm laughing because that would be incredible. But I have two questions on that one, and my first one are like, does that venue like actually have the right equipment that they would need to host an esport event? And I'm assuming
Mhm,
no, but I don't know. I haven't been there, and who knows
mhm.
if I will. And then, but the second thing that goes to my mind with that one is like, oh my god, like how expensive would that be for them? Would they have the marketing budget for that, bro? Because you got to think
Yeah.
that's the biggest, and that's a multi-billion-dollar structure or something, and it's brand
Mhm.
new, and it's like getting a I don't even know how you would equate it to something else. I mean, you can't. It's its own thing.
You can't.
It's the biggest billboard probably on the freaking planet. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm like, well, and given that, like, I wonder, like, I can't even imagine like what it would cost to do something like that. But that would be cool,
Yeah.
man. I mean, I don't know how many multi-millions it would take for them to do that.
Oh, it's probably 9 digits when you're
Yeah,
writing that check, at least 9 digits. But
yeah. I'm like, man.
again, that's a little far fetched. But I think that if Doc's really gonna go all out, which I mean it is Doc. I mean, first off, he's already going all out with this entire project. And shout out to everybody at the studio for making this game already for what it is. I mean,
Oh, 100%, hundred
this is
percent.
already phenomenal. But when you think about the extravagant nature of that structure and knowing that TwitchCon is there
That
and
would be
thinking, you know
crazy.
what's gonna be better than TwitchCon? A giant face of Dr. Disrespect just staring down at the Las Vegas Convention Center via that giant freaking ball.
It's like you see
And I
his
think it
face
would be
pop up for
funny.
like just 2 seconds, and he's just staring at you, like, and all the traffic's driving out, and then
Just
all he does is he says, "Trickle in,"
yes,
and then
step
you see
into
the
the
Dead Drop
arena.
logo and everything, yeah, to the arena, yeah.
Yeah, how
Oh my
crazy would
god,
that be?
it's like his whole intro starts playing. You think we're gonna stop right there?
It started off
Bro,
far fetched at first, but now I kind of want it to happen. Like,
like just seeing that on that huge dome, dude. Like, am I a boomer? Boom!
boom!
Don't you dare peek,
Oh
Johnny
god.
boy. Don't you dare peek
Yeah,
at the two
exactly.
times world. On that huge dome, everybody's gonna be driving down the freeway, swerving like, what is Doc doing? Jesus.
What is that giant face just staring down at me with
Yeah,
that Ethiopian
yeah,
beautiful masterpiece?
yeah. Ethiopian caterpillar, man. That's
Oh yeah.
What like that would be the ultimate gaming. Like, I wonder. I might have to Google this. I might have to Google if like any gaming companies have used that as advertisement yet. Man,
I I tell you what,
I
I
bet
think
you
the
they're in
coolest thing
line waiting
about
on it
that,
though.
yeah, I bet they are. I would not be
They're
surprised
probably
in the least
creating
bit.
ads. They're probably creating ads that can actually utilize the dome's field of
Mhm.
view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would probably have to create something special for that. So, hey, Midnight Society, if you want to really impress the world, use that huge dome in Vegas as the freaking banner for the whole thing. Like, holy crap, that would be
Just wrap the
incredible.
intro screen around it.
Yeah, dude, just
Oh
oh
man.
man, that's I'm just thinking about it now. Doc's intro on that big thing, dude.
Yeah.
That would be the best,
The
man.
2-time back to back. And
Yeah.
just like driving down the strip, just
Yeah, it's like man, that's something. All right, well, I hope we can make something like that happen. But so are you saving up your space dust? Are you going to be able to make it to this live event?
I have already booked the hotel. Your boy is actually going to be driving there.
Okay.
So for anybody that knows me, I am very much into cars. And I will actually be driving my car from. So I the closest metro that I live in is Houston. So I'm making the road trip from Houston, and the first point is Dallas. And then we're going to drive up to Vegas, and we're going to be bringing the car there. And hopefully, if I can make this work, might have a little something special specifically for the event. So I'm hoping that we can pull this off, but it's going to take some creativity and really capitalizing on some some resources that I know down here. But yeah, I've already booked the hotel, road trip, all that gas money's already pre-allocated. We're ready to go, baby. You're gonna see me there.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm saving up my space dust because I went to the live event for Snapshot 5 and I got hooked, man. I'm like, I'm never missing one of these again if I can help it. So
Yeah.
my plan, I'm gonna wait until they announce the venue so I can try to get a hotel as close as I can.
Hmm.
But I'm definitely planning on going. So I hope to see you
Yeah.
there, man. I really think it's gonna be a blast, and I think this one's gonna be even bigger.
Oh yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
I definitely agree. It's gonna be a good time. Again, like you said, right? I missed Snapshot 5, but even seeing the event through, people's stories on Instagram and seeing their social media posts and then seeing the official video of the release and everything. I mean, if it's that big for 5, and we're
Oh
talking about
man.
bringing cars into the scene for 7, and like UGC possibly, and then other big features. I mean, they're gonna blow this out of the water.
Yeah,
So
like when it's time to do a live event, that's when they open up the wallets for the marketing budget, man. They don't play, man. They
yeah.
put on shout out to all the Snapshot 5 event coordinators, shout out to Optic Gaming,
Hmm.
all the people that work at Optic, Midnight Society, and everybody in between, all our shoutcasters with Katie Bedford, everybody, y'all put on an immaculate production. It was really
Yep.
something to experience in person. I highly recommend if you have the means to make it to Vegas for Snapshot 7 reveal event. It's gonna be something you won't regret at all. I mean, I just like I said, if Snapshot 5 was anything to go by, then you're in good hands, man. So, um,
Yeah.
all right, Marks. Well, I appreciate you being here today, man. This has been a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell the viewers, where can we find all of your content?
So I'm primarily a YouTube streamer now. So you can find me at youtube.com/@ Marks and Recreation, one word. I'm also on TikTok under Marks Recreation, no and one word. And then right now my Instagram handle is oh hey period it's Mark, because that's I used to run a primarily a car social media page. But we're gonna start kind of blending that into a car and gaming content, because honestly, car people and gamers, really a lot of that community meshes in between each other. So how cool would be kind of reaching out to everybody there? But those are the main social media, so you can find me on for sure. Oh, and Twitter, definitely Twitter.
Yeah, definitely Twitter or
Yeah, definitely
X.
Twitter.
I guess it's X now. So
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's
you can
still
find me
Twitter.
on
No, no.
X.
Hey, look, that's a controversial topic. We're all on X now. It's like,
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
wait a
I'm an
minute.
X poster.
It's like, wait a minute.
Uh-huh.
I'm waiting on my dad to knock on the door. What are you doing, son? What is that?
Yeah, I make X posts and X videos. I mean, I don't know if I can say that, but I mean,
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
So,
totally. I make X content.
yeah. All right, folks. Well, that's all we have today. Marks, again, thanks so much for being on. I really appreciate you, brother, and can't wait to see you out in the community. And if you like the show and you want to see more, the best way to help out is hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so you don't miss out on any future episodes of Variant Intel. My name's HELMETFIRE, aka Variant 2 Zulu 2, and we will see you in the tower. Have a good one, everybody.